So AI, also AI in 2025, it might hit the AI photography sector. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from One Lens Only, and today we're gonna address the elephant in the room, AI photography, because there's the buzz out there. Everybody, they're all talking about the AI and what implication we have on the loss of jobs. So there are a plethora of white collars that are scared right now that AI will replace them, but I would not be afraid of that, because AI is a great tool to use, especially for us photographers and for video makers, for content creators. We have so many tools that are helping with our workflow right now. But why do I feel that I can share with you my 2 cents? Because I just started working on a project with the AI. So basically I am instructing the AI. I will give you more details later on, but first thing, I want you to understand what we are talking about. We're talking about tools for automation that can help a lot, but they are not taking control of your camera, of course. So right now I'm using the AI on Aperi and on Luminar Neo. If you are curious, we discussed them already. Please find the link up here. If you want to try them, there's the link down below with my discount code. But apart from that, I have to say, these two tools help me a lot, especially for portrait photography, because then you have to spend quite a bit of time for post-processing your photos to smooth the skin and to have the right contrast, to add or remove lights, so on and so forth. So this is a great tool. But what I foresee for the future, especially given that the new generations guys here, they don't really want to learn photography. They only want to have the job done as quick as possible. So I see camera companies sooner or later starting changing the commands on the camera. So instead of the exposure triangle, you might have the outcome that you want on your camera, and the AI might manage it. Like, I want a long shutter speed because I want to smooth away the waterfall. I want to have a portrait session, so you manage the settings, but the skin needs to be smooth and the contrast needs to be contrasty. You manage. And the AI might eventually do that, because one thing that we always thought is that it could not work on dimensions that are 100% human or personal or based on emotions, but we now know that this is not true anymore, because the Google Med AI outperformed doctors when it comes to diagnosis, but it also scored better in empathy with the patients. Now, you might say doctors are not the most empathic persons out there, and I do understand, because they do it as a defense mechanism. They don't need to be involved, otherwise it will be way too much for them. But what it really means is that the AI can analyze the emotions and draw a pattern. Once they identify a pattern, they can break it into data, and once the AI has data to work on, they can analyze, they can improve, enhance, apply, replicate, eventually continue the trend on that line. Now, please do me a favor, take your own Instagram page and go to the very bottom and then scroll up all the way to the most recent photos. You will see that the way you cut your photography, the way you do the framing, the way you also do the post-processing, it's very personal, because it's your personal taste. And so it will be more or less the same, with the evolution over time, of course, but more or less the same taste for photography, for the way you frame, for the way you do the composition, for the way you do the post-processing. Now, the AI might be able to study what your preferences are, track them down, continue on that path, improve, enhance, and eventually also generate contents without even the need to go out there and shoot in the streets. Now, How does our mind work? You might remember when you were starting to drive a car, the very first times you were sitting in the driving seat and you had to double check the clutch, the gear stick, the brakes, the throttle, the steering, the whatever, everything, right? You were thinking about like a checklist. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to tackle that aspect. And for the very first, at least 10 times, you were all mentally inside that car. And then eventually one day you woke up and you didn't have to think about it anymore because you had tracked something in your brain. It was wired, and every time after that you were driving a car, this wiring became bigger, bolder, deeper, so that right now you don't even have to think about what you are doing. You just sit in a new car and you drive it, right? The body is the same thing. You want to get ripped, you hit the gym 4 or 5 times a week and the body responds. And the mind, the same exact thing, even with photography. So this is the reason why Mr. Thorsten Overgard suggests to always wear a camera on your neck, because every time you go out, then you practice. This is also why I suggest you go with the one lens only, ideally a prime glass, because every time that you go out to practice, at least you always have the same field of view, the same focal length, and it helps you wiring and stressing and making these wire in your brain bigger, bolder, thicker, deeper, whatever, so that you don't have to think about anything. Right now, for all pro photographers, a camera is just a tool, but we don't really think about what we are doing. We know that shooting manual has some implications, and then whether we change one aspect of the other, what it means on the end result. And so this is very personal. The AI will not be able to replicate until the moment it will be able to. So how to outsmart it? Just don't be predictable. Every time you go out there and you want to create something, just create something. So don't go and replicate contents that you already did, that you already created. Try to have fresh eye every time you hit the streets, even of your own city. So this is the best advice I can give you. Guys, let's stay tuned, because they say this is coming in 3 to 5 years. I see something coming already in 2025. I hope I'm not wrong, but the moment they start talking about it to the mass public, it means they are ready to monetize. And so if many podcasts out there are talking about the whole series, Mo Godan is having presentations all around the world. I'm thinking about the impact theory podcast. You can dig as much as you want if you want to explore the world of the AI. They're all trying to talk about the utopia or the dystopia. Will this have good or bad implications? Honestly, just don't be scared. Take the best out of it. Take the best out of the tools that are coming your way. If you can afford them, they will not be so expensive. And then try to improve your workflow, and especially try to go out and hit the streets as much as possible, because this is the only way you have to really wire your brains and to outsmart the AI. So please let me know down here in the comments what your expectations are, if you are foreseeing anything that I might have missed, if you have other information that you want to share. Otherwise, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos to come, and I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.